Children, in this session, let us go through chapter number 18, Methods of Safe Disposal of Waste. See, according to the nature of the matter, whether it is the solid, liquid or gaseous in form, the waste generated, that would also be different. Alright, it would be either of these three, solid, liquid or gaseous form. So the method of the disposal of the waste, that would also be different depending upon the type of the waste that has been generated. Collection of the waste, it should be done in a very proper manner, and it is the responsibility of the municipality. So area wise, the vehicles, they must be organized so that the litter on the roads, it does not take place. Daily collection of the waste, that is also very important so that the diseases, they do not spread off. Then the building material, the garbage, such type of the waste, it should be collected off separately and should be disposed of in a very careful manner. Segregation of the waste is also very important. Segregation, basically it means to separate off the waste, and if this waste that is separated off at the source level only, where it is being generated into the different categories of biodegradable and non-biodegradable, then the quantity of the waste, it can be sorted out, it can be reduced at the source only. For example, the biomedical waste and the industrial waste, it should not be mixed with the municipal solid waste that consists of the biodegradable garbage. Then the waste, it must be segregated into the vegetable, leaves, garden waste, glass, paper waste at the source level only. So same with the chemical, e-waste, non-biodegradable, toxic or poisonous waste, it should all be separated at the source level. But it is very important that the waste, it should not be left in open, rather it should be kept in the closed containers for the collection. The next step, that is of the storing waste. Now storing of the waste, it should be done keeping in mind the quantity of the waste that is generated area wise. Then the collection bins, it should be covered off so that it is not so that the waste is not exposed off to the atmosphere or to the stray cattle. Then the storage bins, it should be transferred in the appropriate manner by having it covered so that the diseases, they are not spread. Even the vehicles that are used for the transportation of the waste, it should be designed in a manner that it is only for the purpose of collection of the waste, and it should be covered so that the pollution is checked. The dumping or the landfills, they are the large area that are generally located outside of the cities or the edges of the cities, where the waste is deposited on the ground or in the ground, and then it is covered with the soil so that the pollution is reduced down. Otherwise, what would happen? A lot of the odor diseases, it would be there, and the spreading of such, it would lead to many kind of the diseases. And people living nearby these areas, dumping sites, the smell, the odor is very strong, so the life would become a little difficult for them. But there are certain things in mind, certain factors in mind that one should keep in mind at the time of the selection of the site. That includes the land requirement and its cost. That obviously depends upon the quality and the quantity of the waste that has been generated, the solid one. Then how accessible the site is, whether it is located centrally or near the source of the waste that is generated, whether it requires the thick cover of the soil, whether the climate, the amount of the rainfall, frequency of the rainfall, direction of the wind, does these factors affect? So all of this, it should be kept in mind. Other than the topography, any kind of the area that is away from the city, so that the diseases, the spread of the diseases is checked, and so is the spread of the smell. But the main problem that is associated with the landform, that is the contamination of the surrounding water supplies, aquifers, that is the underground availability of the water, and the soil by the leachate. Then there are certain methods by the way of which even the waste it can turn into be a very useful product, like composting. Now what is composting? Compost, it is the biodegradable organic waste. So whatever the kitchen waste it is there, whatever the garden waste it is there, the discarded food items, it can be collected and converted into the useful manner. Alright, so if earthworms and all they are added to it in the compost pit, then it will help to convert the waste and decompose organic matter. So their droppings, they also enrich the compost, and this method that is called the vermicomposting. There are two of the ways by which the compost it can be made. One is the anaerobic, the another one is the aerobic. So by both of these ways, the bacteria it can be generated to make the compost, which can then be used as a manure for the plants. The advantages of the composting it include like the conversion of the organic waste, it can be done into the valuable fertilizers, reduction in the quantity of the waste, recycling of the organic materials. Then it is the natural waste disposal system. The texture of the soil it can be improved. It helps to grow the plant in a better manner. The water holding capacity of the soil it increases. So here we come to the end of the chapter. Read the chapter carefully and solve the set of the question and answers and the processes of composting. Please go through it. Thank you, children.